Not part of the Church of Christ.
How many books are in their canon?
66.
66. Yeah. What happened to those 5 or 6 books?
More than that.
Yeah, what is it? 6 books, yeah?
Oh, so that's the thing though. So Protestants, they have no authority to determine the canon. We do.
Oh, okay, great.
For them, it's purely just like
66.
what they feel like.
So what happened to those 6? Do you believe that those 6 books are part of the canon and those Protestants don't believe in that, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. So who got to decide what's in the canon and what's not in the canon?
The Church of Christ, the church.
Which church? Which meeting?
The one that
Which council?
So the canon was closed at Florence for the year, but I think it's in the 15th century. But Council of Florence, they canon the Bible.
The New Testament canon was decided well before that. Who decided? What council was it?
I don't think so. I think Carthage, maybe Carthage. I think.
There was no council. So, how the New Testament was decided, the stronger opinion is that it was Athanasius, okay? In the 4th century.
His kind of isn't fully the same as ours.
It was Athanasius.
It can't be him.
No problem. You can read J and D Kelly's Early Church Fathers.
I read it, yeah.
All right, read them again and with greater attention this time. What I'm saying is that the stronger opinion is that Athanasius is the one who decided upon the canon. There was no council.
J&D couldn't say that. J&D couldn't say that.
There was no.
I read him. He didn't say that. He said actually decided.
There was no council, and I would challenge you to find one. There was no council that decided on the canon of the New Testament.
Florence.
There was no council that decided upon the canon of the New Testament. Are you listening to me or not?
Yeah.
That is well known. Okay. Okay. What is the council that decided on the canon of the New Testament?
There was no council in Carthage in the 5th century. Then there was one in the.
What's the name of the council?
Council of Carthage.
And what did they do in that council?
They determined the ultimate canon, but it was only a local.
Wait, hold on. So you're telling me that the canon was not determined before the 5th century?
No, it wasn't. No.
It was the 27 books of the New Testament were determined way before that, into the 4th century. Yes. So the idea was that you had the New Testament canon before the 5th century in Carthage. Clearly, yeah, and it was not decided by a canon. Athanasius is the one who decided.
Yeah.
Who gave him the authority?
I mean, he didn't. All I can say is that he didn't.
Who gave him the authority though?
He didn't define it.
So who defined it then?
The church as a whole.
The church fathers in the first 300 years. Now I'm asking a question. In the first 300 to 400 years of Christianity, in the first 300 to 400 years of Christianity, was there a consensus among church fathers of what the New Testament constituted of?
For the most part, yeah. For the most part, if you look at the macro
So why is it that you'll find that some church fathers quoted texts which we don't find in the New Testament corpus today, like the Didache, like the Apocrypha?
Yeah.
So why is it that you find that these texts are quoted by some church fathers?
We read the Apocrypha. Those actually looks like the Apocrypha.
Now, I know you read this. They're not canonized as part of the New Testament. I'm asking.
The Old Testament. Apocrypha is Old Testament.
No, I'm talking about the Didache.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, my question is now, the Didache is the first 100 years of Christianity.
Yeah.
Why is that not part of the canon?
Well, that's because how the canon decided.
How comes we find that in the 3rd century, the 4th century, that some church fathers disputed whether or not the book of Revelation should be part of the canon?
Yeah, because it's tradition.
Pardon?
Tradition.
How could there be dispute on an entire book between church fathers whether it should be in the canon or not?
Tradition, that's why, tradition, because they have different traditions, right? And some churches did use certain books, others didn't. I mean, that's...
But that just contradicted what you said before. You said that all the church fathers, there was consensus among what constituted the New Testament among the church fathers.
No, for the most part.
But there's no consensus then. It's no most part and consensus. Consensus means all of them agree.
Not necessarily.
I'm using it in that sense. In that strict, there was unanimity. There was everyone agrees. I'm not talking about the majority.
100 people, yeah. 90 of them agree with something, 1% disagrees. You say because I was disagrees, there's no
I'm using it in that sense.
Okay, no.
Great. So there was no consensus that between the early church fathers of what the New Testament comprised of.
Yeah.
Therefore, in your understanding, because the question you asked me is how could you use part of the Bible and not part of the Bible? The Bible itself is ill-defined. The Bible itself, there's no consensus of what its constitutes are.
For us, we have a definition. As Catholics, we have a definition. The church defines the canon. But as Protestants, don't we have
So I have a question for you then, as a Catholic, since you're a Catholic.
Yeah.
My question as a Catholic to you is then, from whence did the church itself gain its authority? Hold on, let me finish the question. Did the church get the authority from the books, or did the books get the authority from the church?
The question. So the way they just got the process from the Christ himself. When Christ is the Peter, you are the rock, and only you.
Yeah, but that's in a book.
Yeah. But that's a historical event. It's a historical event. It's a real
Hold
event.
on, you don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah?
I understand the apostolic tradition of the church, the whole argument of the Roman Catholics and the Eastern Orthodox, by the way, because they have a similar kind of reverence for tradition, and they have a similar reverence for figures. Obviously, for you, in your case, the Pope himself. Yeah. What I'm saying is, I understand the argument, but my question was this: because what you're citing about Peter is in the New Testament. So my question is, did the church get its authority from the New Testament, or did the New Testament get its authority from the church?
So that's a false dichotomy. I want to say that. It's false dichotomy.
No, it's one or the other. In fact, no, it's not a false dichotomy. In fact, it will be circular reasoning to say that the church got its authority from the books, which got its authority from the church. That would be circular reasoning.
No, because we also run it in a historical event, though. And
no, but that historical event was only known from the books.
Yeah, exactly.
So great. So you're sorry. Go ahead.
Word of mouth or written form, so it can even be.
If you're saying that you got your authority from a written historical event, that written historical event was in the books.
Word of mouth. There's also word of mouth as well.
Word of mouth is still historical.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, but by the way, just to be fair, apostolic arguments are made from direct references to the New Testament, correct? With the incident of Peter, correct?
I mean, even the Bible itself is justified through that tradition, because how do we know?
I know.
Peter or Matthew or Matthew,
How do we know it? How do we know it?
The church fathers, they told us.
Not the church fathers, but it says it in the New Testament itself, correct?
Yeah.
Great.
But even
So this is where your problem lies.
Yeah.
You have an issue of authority here. That's why in most Christian seminaries or whatever, they say the three things that make Christianity are the tradition, the scripture, and reason, right? Correct?
Church.
Yeah, well, that's a tradition. Yeah, fine. Okay, you can say that's a tradition or not. Scriptures, the tradition, which is the test, what do you call it? The church fathers and so on, and apostolic tradition and precedents and all that kind of thing, and also reason, which you've thrown out the window. But no problem with that. Let's throw reason out the window and let's stick with the other two, since we already dealt with the reason bit, and the reason is not in your favor. No, you have. You've accepted that as a contradiction between. You have accepted it. You said that, but you don't care about errors. And you said that Jesus Christ is both fully human and fully.
But when I said that, though,
you said there's a contradiction. That was the word you used.
So I mean, even there, when I said that, right, I mentioned also like, in my mind, I had a category.
I understand. Okay.
That's why I said that.
No, but we've moved on to another argument now.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that there's another contradiction you have to deal with. So now I'm telling you what contradictions you have to endure. Contradiction number one, as a Christian, if you're happy to die as one, okay, no problem. The first contradiction you have to endure is that you have this person of Jesus Christ who is meant to know all but have limited knowledge at the same time. Be all powerful but not have powerful. One is the divine nature, you're calling it. You can call it what you like, but there are two set of contradictory attributes. You said it on camera. You said it. These are contradictory. That's fine. So you have to endure those contradictions. No problem. Let's put that to the side. Secondly,
also paradoxical. But things those contradictions create a paradox, not necessarily a
okay.
Kind of they cause a paradox.
You're using language, syntax to try and escape the reality. All right.
No,
a paradox.
Paradox is a very precise word. Do you not agree? Paradox is a very precise word. I don't think it's.
Why is that paradox and not? Are you saying that? First of all, are you saying a paradox is always different to a contradiction? Because you can have a paradox which is a contradiction.
If it's a contradiction, there's no paradox.
I don't agree. Sometimes you can have a paradox. There's a book written by Jim Khalil about logical paradoxes and stuff like that. What's it called? I don't know what it's called. But anyway, this a paradox can actually produce contradictory results. So this idea that you're trying to create, what you're doing now is you're trying to use language to escape the reality, yeah? It's very clear for me to see. You're in a cognitive dissonant state. You are uncomfortable at the fact that on the one hand, you realize that you can't actually reconcile these themes, but on the other hand, you are emotionally connected to the religion of Christianity. I'm saying that there's a way to free yourself from this. And I honestly want the best for you, bro. I know I was a bit rough with you before that, and I apologize. I apologize. But at the same time, I want to say to you, look, I was telling you about the hellfire, but there's also Jannah, heaven. I'm saying that virgins, all that kind of stuff, which I'm sure you're interested in women. Are you interested in women or men?
Yeah, women. Sorry.
You're interested in women, and do you have a sexual urge, or do you have libido or no libido?
I have very high libido.
Okay, fine. So do you find sexual practices enjoyable or not?
Yeah.
Oh, great. So then why are you making fun of something which you find enjoyable? It's like saying, well, let's mock the fact that human beings need to eat as well.
I mean,
Of course, we have to have sex. We enjoy it. Every human being enjoys it.
I mean, you do that. You make fun of Jesus because you have to go to the toilet.
I don't make fun of him. I would never make fun of Jesus Christ. I'm not allowed to make
Kind
him.
of the idea that God is doing these things.
No, I'm saying this. I'm not making fun. I'm saying that you can't have a God that goes to the toilet, or that God that's born out of a mother's womb.
Why?
Because of the thing that I just told you. If God is all powerful, if God is beginningless, he can't be beginningless and have a beginning at the same time. This is a contradiction you are going to have to endure.
Only if it's in the same way.
It's fine, but I'm saying it. You can go to heaven, which you believe in heaven, right?
Of course, yeah.
And you believe that you can get whatever you want in heaven, right?
Well,
What kind of heaven would it be if I can't get what I want?
I mean, like,
What kind of heaven would it be, bro? Listen, I know you were just talking about the virgins, but what kind of heaven would it be if I can get more from this world than that place?
no,
Imagine if my desires, look, imagine this. Imagine, look, I ask you, imagine if I want to have, sorry to say, Jan, I'm sorry.
we're men,
No, I understand. Imagine I enjoy to eat meat and I enjoy to eat food and potatoes and that. You enjoy potatoes?
of course, yeah.
I enjoy potatoes, yeah? I like gravy and potato and rice and meat. I like spending time with the children. You like spending time with children sometimes? Yes, I do. You imagine, you listen to me, yeah?
Yeah.
I like to spend time with the, sorry to say, I like to have sex. Do you like it? Don't lie.
Of course, yeah.
Who doesn't like it? Men like it, women like it.
married,
So, yeah, of course. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise, right?
One wife or more than one?
That's a separate discussion for a separate, I'm only kidding. But what I'm saying is this, is that imagine now, if I enjoy these things, these are carnal desires, I want to enjoy myself. I want to go to a place where there's all enjoyment, all happy, but I can't even get in that place what I was getting down here. It's a downgrade then. What kind of heaven is that? I don't want to go there. I'll stay here. I'll stay here and enjoy myself.
Okay, yeah.
No, so this idea of a virgin and stuff like that, I personally, I mean, I don't mind, you know, which means that she's, for me, the woman is for me, she has not had any sexual intercourse with other men in the past. In this dunya, I don't care, to be honest, whether she did or she didn't. But in anyway, look, yeah, well, maybe me and you have similar tastes. You like the potatoes, you like the rice, maybe, you know, what country you're from?
Ethnically Congolese.
Very beautiful country, you know. I have
You're
to.
different.
That's correct. You know a lot about me already.
Marhaba.
Marhaban bik, you know. Thank you.
Sorry.
Now, what I'm saying to you is that the first. So this thing about, you know, virgins, I don't even know why people use it as an argument. I think it's an argument again. The same person. Sorry to say. Let me just close it. Let's close a little of this. Yeah. The same people that are talking about, oh, in Islam, you guys believe in the virgins and all this. Yeah. He's going home and watching pornographies, and he's. I'm not saying you do, because it's not allowed in Catholicism. Even masturbation is not allowed, correct?
Yeah.
Because you're not even allowed to, which is the same as in Islam, for the most part. Other opinions.
Which masturbation is like when you have sex with a wife?
Yeah, you believe that you know this. You're killing the children or something, you know, by doing it.
Yeah.
No, whatever. What I'm saying is, the same people that you'd hear, oh, you believe in I don't know how many virgins in heaven. They are using escorts. Sorry, they're using escorts. They're calling, oh, can you come to my hotel? I'll pay for your fare.
No one is perfect.
No, that's not. No, it's hypocrisy. And by the way, and they're arguing legally to free up sexual liberation and this stuff. So why don't we just be honest and authentic about the human proclivity? We have a proclivity to sexual intercourse.
That's the issue, though. I think the issue
Here's the issue, because you talk about 72 virgins.
No.
What if I want 100 virgins?
I mean,
In your Jannah, in your heaven, I wouldn't even get one, maybe. What kind of place is that? I don't want to go there. I'll stay here, mate.
that's the thing, though.
I'll stay here. I'll go to my house. I'll have more fun than your Jannah.
I mean, like, let's say someone in heaven here wants children to sleep with. Is that okay?
Say again?
Say someone in heaven here wants to have sleep with children. Is that okay?
Sleep with what?
Children.
No, because we wouldn't have desire to do things which are unethical.
I agree.
Great. But why is it unethical to be with a woman that you love and that she loves you?
Is it ethical to have more than 4 wives? Is it ethical to have more than 4 wives?
More than 4 wives?
Yeah.
It's not unethical. It's not unethical. It's not unethical to have more than 4 wives.
In your faith.
Yeah, I'm saying it's not unethical.
So God's
There's nothing intrinsically. Look, I'm answering your question. There's a difference between There's a difference between intrinsically ethical / unethical versus it's ethical because the command says it. It's allowed. Yeah. So if I say, look, if I had 10 wives, just like David had 300 in your book, yeah, 300 wives and 700 concubines, yeah, he's going.
Someone
No, okay, whatever.
Lucky man,
Or Abraham has to, but whatever. I don't think there's anything intrinsically unethical about it. I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
Okay? But if I say that, look, I'm restricted because the Sharia says I'm only allowed to have 4, then the degree to which is unethical is only because I'm going, yeah.
Are you saying there's the difference between good and bad, things that are intrinsically good and bad, and God's command? So God's command can be something that...
Yeah, that's my view.
That's not...
There are 2 views in Islam.
Oh, interesting.
There's the divine command theory, and these are like the 2 forks of the Eurofrose dilemma.
Okay.
You know Eurofrose dilemma?
I read Peso for
So for me, I actually take Aquinas' view on the matter.
Epic.
You see, which is the same as Ibn Taymiyyah's view actually, and Ibn Qayyim's view, and Augustine's view. They all intimated us.
So you take it from us.
Possibly. I don't think I don't think he had read it, but it's not too bad. It's not. But he took it from. It was a lot of it was Neoplatonic anyway.
Yeah, I mean.
But Ibn Taymiyyah was against the Neoplatonic forms, whereas Augustine was for it. But anyway, this is a different story. In terms of the view is that there's something which is good and bad out there. Goodness for me, I take the Protestant position, is the manifestation of God's goodness onto something, and then if God's goodness is not in that thing, then that thing does not. So yeah. So it's privation, which is Augustine's view. I'm saying I take that fork of my person. So if I believe in divine command theory, my answer to you would be that anything more than 4 would be unethical.
Okay.
But I don't take that view.
Brilliant.
Anyway, going back to the point, there's nothing wrong therefore. Yeah. There's nothing wrong therefore. Like so, this is the attempt. I'm giving you contradictions in who your God is. And then you come to me as a Muslim and you say, okay, well, you got 72 virgins. I'm saying 72, I want 100, I want 200. There's no problem, there's no logical contradiction. I don't see a logical contradiction.
That's the issue is that like it seems like in Islam, heaven is all about pleasing man, but not heaven is all about pleasing God.
There's
So God is happy when you're having sex with virgins and all these and drinking.
It's just the fact that men, according to the psychological measures of today, like for example, Baumeister and Cantonese of 2011, when they did a cross-sectional psychological study, the biggest of its kind, have found, and by the way, there was 3 or 4 women in that, they were saying that, which are the top researchers, that the male sex drive is stronger than the female sex drive. So that's what the psychological. You can write a paper and you can disagree all you like, but what you have to do in order to disagree is you have to write a paper, peer review it, and then challenge the results of the other psychological investigation.
Never studied that contradicts that one.
Yeah, but I have not found that, and in fact they mentioned that in the study that there is no other study that contradicts that one. Elaine Hatfield, in 1989, when they went to the men in the campus. I'm not sure, have you heard this study? No. Very famous study. They repeated it from the 70s all the way to the basically the early 90s, and they asked men and women 3 questions. Would you go, like men would ask women, do you want to go out on a date with me? Do you want to come back to my apartment? And do you want to have sex with me? 3 questions. Now, I'm just going to...
Men will say yes and women will be like,
okay,
no.
the 3rd question. In the 1989 study, which now would not even go through the CUREC ethics committee, I'm saying that, what was the percentage of women that said, yeah, I want to have sex with you?
Women are stingy.
What do you think?
Women are stingy, so...
80%.
0% of women. 0%. 0%. So when women came to men, when men came to women on the campus and whatever, and they were asking them, 0%. Let me just this study was actually somewhat longitudinal. I'm saying 0% of women said yes. 0. Guess how many percent of men? 75%. Now. 75%. Now what I'm saying is that there's a major disparity between the sexual proclivity, inclination, and the intensity of the male sex drive versus the female. So if the Quran that by giving incentive to men which he doesn't give to women, that is because if he didn't do that, if the Quran did not do that, then there would be some kind of deficiency in the Quran. And the Quran says itself, أَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. Does he not know what he created and he is the given similar sexual incentives to women as men? I would say that would be a cause of concern. That would be a cause, considering what we know today of the male sex drive versus the female sex drive, the testosterone, according to all studies, scientific studies, not even psychological or sociological. Females have 1/10 to 1/20th the amount of testosterone that women do, that men have, And of course, testosterone is inextricably linked to the libido, which is why when they asked the question of female sex drive, it goes up when the testosterone increases. If you increase testosterone in women, their sex drive increases as well. I'm not saying it's the only reason why their sex drive may go up, but I'm saying there's a difference here. And I think most people know it. I think you're playing the fool. So
No.
no, you are playing the fool. So what I'm saying is,
I'm
look,
not saying it's wrong here to have sex and be
there's
attracted.
nothing wrong with having sex in limits. But what I'm
My
saying is
issue
that,
like,
what's the issue?
It seems like the focus right is on man's pleasure.
No, it's not. No, I totally disagree, bro. I totally disagree. Like, let me give you an example, yeah? Let me give you an example.
How does it honor God for me to have sex with all these women in heaven and like?
Sorry, what's again?
How does it please God here or
It's not about please. Look, sorry to say. Look, heaven is a reward that God he gives to people as a result of His mercy. Now, if I to reduce my sexual interactivity and to do this and do that and stick within the guidelines of God, He's saying, look, pardon?
You worked.
Sorry?
You worked.
Yeah, if I
As in
work.
You did things
Yeah,
in
God-
God's favor.
Yeah,
So we don't believe in Christianity. We don't believe we can earn God's.
No, we're not saying we earned it. I didn't say we earned it. If I did that, God will decide to put His compassion on me. He may decide to give me more than what I actually deserve by giving me all these rewards. And He does the same thing with women. No one's going to be left out. And in fact, this idea, look, there's verses in the Quran which subjugate males to females. I'll tell you how. In Jannah, for example, there's this boys, غِلْمَانٌ or wildanun. It's mentioned two different terms. That there'll be يَطُوفُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ غِلْمَان or يَطُوفُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ wildan. These boys that will be going around and serving people in Jannah, including women.
Would you sleep with them, the boys too?
Say again? No, but bro, no. I'm saying to you, you're making the same mistake. You're assuming that the incentive for a man is the same as the incentive for a woman.
No, that's not my issue.
Well, you have an equality. You have an equality premise. We don't believe in equality in this regard. Good man. So what I'm saying to you, if you don't believe, so why are you asking if they're going to sleep with them? Do you think that women want to sleep with boys? Do you think that's an incentive for them? Do you think that women sleeping with young boys is an incentive? Do you think that's an incentive? Great. So now we understand.